Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Thrash Maniac 99 YouTube channel for yet another edition of the Horsemen Podcast. And this may be the sexiest. This may be the sexiest, but yet most disturbing episode of the Horsemen Podcast yet, because today we are doing top 10 love songs in metal. Oh, bollocks. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, of course, a little roundabout introduction. Of course, Levi, Thrash Maniac, you should know me by now.
Sure.
Next to me on the left is, well, Ricky, Horror Master, the Lagger. What else can we call him at this point?
The lovely Texan.
Who's wearing a hymn shirt, which could be a spoiler for this episode. Right above him, we have Hannah Klein from the Germany country, who we all love.
With lots of love to all of you.
And then right next to her, above me, the crazy Portuguese motherfucker, Artur Castanha.
My best Kelly Ray impression.
And just as a side note, Kamikaze Games might join us midway through. Whenever he gets on Discord, we'll try to get him in. If not, I apologize for any false advertisement. Maybe next episode we'll get him in the whole time. But nonetheless, and also Raphael Fireblade, not here, at least not right now. He might also pop in midway through too. After all, some of us tend to join in midway through really anything. Even sex, though not in my case, because I'm still needing it. But beside the point... So yeah, top 10 love songs in metal. This is going to be very, very interesting. I think every one of us has a completely different list from each other. Maybe a song might be shared, maybe not. I doubt any of my songs on my list are going to be on everybody's, except maybe Anna, for one in particular, and we'll get to that. Maybe, maybe not. But, so we're going to get started with our honorable mentions, and I got 6 honorable mentions. Well, I originally had 5, but we were talking before the show started about one band in particular that probably should have been on my list, and that's Motorhead. So the first one I got is Motorhead's The Chase is Better Than the Catch. That's my Motorhead song choice. After all, that's probably my favorite Motorhead song. Not Ace of Spades, shockingly. Now, some of these might be typical for the actual list, but I decided to put them in honorable mention. The first one's an unorthodox choice, and it's Iron Maiden, Where the Wild Wind Blows, on my list. In honorable mentions. After all, that's my favorite song off of Final Frontier. I love that soft introduction. Basically a song about a man and wife holding hands together when the end of the world happens. Next up, Ozzy Osbourne, Mama, I'm Coming Home. Classic ballad from 1991. Ricky's gonna love me for good for this one. AC/DC, Let Me Put My Love Into You.
Yeah!
Probably my favorite AC/DC song, and the inspiration for a Dark Throne song on the new album. Shocking to some people that this isn't in the actual top 10. Metallica, Nothing Else Matters. I decided to put that in honorable mentions. And then the last honorable mention, Scorpions, Still Loving You.
Fuck.
I guess that's on her list, eh?
Fuck.
So, those are my 6 honorable mentions. Some of them you might see in other people's top 10s, but not in mine. Just barely missed a cut. Ricky, what honorable mentions do you have? And I'm going to guess 8.
I wish you could have put last.
What?
Honorable mentions.
How many?
How many?
15.
Oh, good God.
Fuck.
Wow.
I told you guys.
No description, just shoot those songs.
Yes, please.
Otherwise, we won't leave you.
Guys, from a long time ago, I love ballads. Yeah. I'll just go. Cinderella, Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone. Dollskin. Chicago, Heart to Sorry. Black Sabbath, Angel. Anathema, One Last Goodbye. Tesla, Love Song. Elias, More Than Words a Day. Slipknot, Stuff. Poison, Rose Has a Thorn. War in Heaven. One Guns. White Love. Love of Life. Iron Way Love. And last but not least, probably the most odd honor I have, Ice Earth Dracula.
Artur's messed up. Oh, God.
I'm just going, how could I forget that one? How could I forget that?
I saw Dracula, and then I saw the movie a couple of days ago, and I was like, oh my god, it's the perfect love song, Dracula.
Oh, good lord, Artur's already upset.
I love ballads.
Upset by forgetting some songs. No, not upsetting because it's
On your list.
on my list. No, although Wasting Love is.
Alright, Hannah.
I've got 7. And most of them, I mean, it's a mix of metal songs and other songs that I wanted to put on this list, but I felt they were too or not metal. Well, I'm just getting started. The first one is Rainbow by Emigrate. My favorite song out of Silent So Long. Then Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child O' Mine. Then Type O Negative, Love You to Death.
Ah!
And then a bit of a surprise, Arcona na Moi Sem. It's not so much about loving a person, but loving your country. And I mean, you can love your country, except if you're a German. And then 3 non-metal songs.
And except if you're a liberal American.
Yeah. And then 3 non-metal songs. I've got Frankie Goes Hollywood, The Power of Love, although I prefer the Ulver cover. Then The Cure's Love Song, classic, one of my favorites from The Cure. And last but not least, Who Taught You How to Love by King Dude.
And now Artur.
I have 4. And in terms of love songs, I put a Whitesnake one here, but I haven't put Is This Love. I put Still of the Night. I mean, Still of the Night can be also considered a bit of a love song.
Yeah.
As well. Even though it has more hunting puns than anything else. I mean, the prowl and stuff. Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home. I mean, you gotta love the Home Sweet Home part of it.
Yeah.
Everyone loves your home. Now this is the more controversial of it, but I put here Metallica, but I haven't put here Nothing Else Matters. I've put Wherever I May Roam, because you have And the Road Becomes My Bride. And the earth becomes my throne, and the road becomes my bride. I mean, it's the love of that wanderer going through the roads. And as he says, roamer, wanderer, nomad, vagabond, call me what you will, but he still does everything with his bride, which is the road. And because of that, and I love the Iced Earth and Dracula songs so much, I've put here just on final notice Dracula.
Alright, and now let's get into the nitty gritty, the top 10 itself. Oh, and Artur. Yeah. That's the signal for my remote's the signal to mute yourself when we're talking. So I got a feeling he's gonna type in something in the chat that's gonna be so nutty. Okay, never mind. So, here we go with the top 10. My number 10 is, this is where you're going to notice. My list is very, very, very unconventional. I went for different styles as opposed to just hair bands. No hair bands on my list. In fact, this is the first of 4, maybe 5 songs on this list that would be in the black metal or death metal vein, and that's the section where dead angels lie. I mean, one of my favorite dissection songs. I mean, when you have a song about dead angels in love laying in the grave, like, wow. Not to mention, this is one of the best black/melodic death metal songs ever created, in my opinion, from one of the best albums of the 90s for metal. Pretty much, that's all I got to say on that. I could have also put maybe, I don't know what other dissection song I could have put on here. Maybe, you know what, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. So, Where Dead Angels Lie by Dissection at number 10. Hannah.
Well, I've got one hairband on here, and that's Steel Panther.
Yes!
I mean, and the song is, of course, the lovely ballad "Community Property." I mean, the choice might be a bit uncontroversial. Sorry. But the thing is, he screws around, but he stays true to her despite being on the road and screwing everybody. It's a weird ballad. It's a weird love song. It's so fucked up, but I love this song so much.
Oh my god. Oh.
And who doesn't like to chant along to this song?
Oh, Artur is about to piss himself, I could tell.
Oh, he already has.
Oops, I've made a stinky. Alright, Ricky.
I know.
This is... what the fuck?
My number 10 is the first of maybe 4 hair bands. The first one is an underrated band, Firehouse, Love of a Lifetime. Firehouse was upgraded for one of the hair bands, and this song was it's in the title of a Lifetime. Just partner, friend, relative, because we all have different love songs.
Ricky, you're lagging again. You're cutting
We
out.
can only hear like half of what you're saying.
Yeah, you keep cutting out. Your video's not fucked up, it's just the mic cutting out.
Yep.
Technical difficulties, everybody. The show would be nothing without it.
Oh God! Like I said, Love of a
And
Lifetime.
the Great Racer X song.
Love of a Lifetime song. I mean, it's in the title. Love of a Lifetime. It could be a meaning of an event. Somebody special. And on the band. Number 2, Firehouse Lifetime.
Artur.
It may be a bit of an unknown or a bit weird choice, but I've gone with Deep Purple's "Perfect Strangers." I mean, it even says a bit on the song itself. Can you remember my name as I close into your eyes? I mean, I know that this song can mean a whole lot different things, but it has a bit of love influence to it. I mean, 2 perfect strangers that meet by any chance and then get together. It could develop a good love story from it. I know that this may be a bit, and many people would have different interpretations for "Perfect Strangers," but I do think that Deep Purple's, they have some good love songs, and Perfect Strangers might be interpreted as such. So, Perfect Strangers by Deep Purple, number 10.
And while we're on you, Artur, let's begin with you at number 9.
Oh boy, now this one was almost a no-brainer, but I couldn't do this without adding some Blackie fucking Lawless, Love Machine. I mean, Love Machine.
V-E.
Exactly. Love Machine. I mean, yeah, it is a bit on the obvious side what he means by Love Machine and stuff, but I mean, it was the 80s. I mean, they would go sleazy all the way, and this Blackie Lawless, even though it had his famous chainsaw hands and such, Chainsaw Charlie, a great song, but I mean, Love Machine, it's a bit like that. Although I could have easily put here Animal, I Fuck Like a Beast, but nah, I want to keep it a bit in class. So, Love Machine it is. Number 9, Love Machine.
Well then. So, my number 9, probably the most disturbing song on my list. And this might be the moment where the video gets demonetized. Cannibal Corpse, Fucked with a Knife. I mean, a song about a psychopath who's in love with a woman, but fucks her in the pussy and the ass, and with a knife, too.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's gotta hurt. And
Nothing that Blackie Lawless didn't do in the late 90s in the KFD tour.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, also one of my favorite Cannibal Corpse songs of all time, and I remember singing this song on the school bus in senior year of high school, and probably freaking everyone the fuck out. So, I was growling like Chris Barnes at the time, which was funny. But yeah, Fucked with a Knife by Cannibal Corpse. Fucking brutal and disturbing. Back in what people would call the golden age of Cannibal Corpse, back in the early 90s. Which, I'll say it here, Corpse Grinder, though, much better vocalist than Chris Barnes. Bar none. As I hear someone revving up a motor outside. Hannah.
My number 9 is it might be a bit weird choice. It's Soulstar Fear's Bitch in Black.
Funny title.
I mean, it's a bit different from the rest of Soulstar Fear's discography. One of the only songs that is written in English, and I mean, this couple of beautiful people meet. He might be a werewolf. They engage in a very weird ritual with runes and shit like that under the full moon. Lovely.
Ricky.
My number 9 is Mallory Heart-Shaped Glasses.
What?
Heart-Shaped Glasses, Mallory Manson.
Oh.
I could have easily put in a lot of Manson songs, and we all know how fucked up.
Yeah.
But probably most, we see a different side of Manson. Time when he her name, and he dedicated a song to her. That's
Still cutting out.
That's all I was saying. I think it's a bit romantic in a way, but a creep romantic song for girl was at the time before she turned 18. And knowing Manson, yeah.
So basically, that was your Cannibal Corpse moment right there.
Yeah, basically.
Alright, moving on to number 8. Ricky, without cutting out too much, what's your number 8?
My number 8 classic, and it is no Meatloaf. I'll do any love, but that.
Mmm.
For years, we didn't know what wouldn't do. A Q&A, and he said, what is
Cutting out.
He would do anything for love except ain't. I'm like, damn. And that means a lot. I mean, he's telling us he would kill for love. He would rob for love. He would steal for love. Everything except anal sex. I'm like, damn. That's some hardcore shit.
Yeah.
In the music video.
Nothing against anal sex if you're into that, but I prefer the pussy.
And Beauty and the Beast did the music video.
Yeah. Funny enough, I seen the music video a couple of times whenever I went to a bowling alley in a casino in North Carolina. They had some, like, 80s music videos playing, and they had that play a few times.
And Meatloaf's a badass. I mean, it starts with the motorcycle at the beginning of the song. Come on.
Yeah. Who doesn't love Meatloaf, you know? Great singer. My number 8... my second favorite band of all time appears on this list, Avenged Sevenfold. There could have been a few from Avenged Sevenfold you could have chosen, but I went with another disturbing one, A Little Piece of Heaven.
Oh.
The music video for it pretty much describes this song, and it's probably their most avant-garde experimental song they've ever done. With no guitars, just like Broadway musical instruments, but still having a heaviness to it, and just about the
I
the
thought that you were
horrors.
going to put that song that they made for Rev.
Oh, So Far Away. I could have went with that, but I wanted to go in the unconventional and disturbing realm. Because after all, love isn't always about sweet, lovey-dovey stuff. It can be disturbing love in the case of Cannibal Corpse and this song. And if you watch the music video for A Little Piece of Heaven, about a couple who fallen out of love and end up killing each other, become zombies, and then get married in hell. Like,
Yeah,
whoa.
But the woman dies, but the guy's alive and fuck corpse.
Yeah, and necrophilia on top of that. So, there you go, disturbing love. Just like that. But also, the duet with the Rev and M Shadows on the chorus parts, great stuff. After all, I think the Rev was a very underrated singing drummer back when he was still around. Rest in peace. One of the best modern drummers in metal. So, that's my number 8. Artur, I swear. Well, Artur, what's your number 8?
My number 8 has kind of been spoiled by Ricky again some time ago, and I won't go too much into detail. It's Iron Maiden's Wasting Love. I mean, Ricky told the story a whole lot better than I could. So, number 8, Wasting Love by Maiden.
Hannah.
My number 8 is Feral Love by Chelsea Wolfe. About somebody falling in love with a very animalistic character and not caring about whatever the world around them thinks them, just following him blindly into the wild. And much like the title, this love described in this song is feral indeed. And very animalistic. Lyrics aren't that long, but very short and on point. And I love this song. It used to that's in the trailer music for Game of Thrones, and that's how I discovered it, and I love Chelsea, and I love this song.
Alrighty, now to number 7, and Hannah, I'll let you begin.
From Chelsea Wolfe, Neo Folk to Black Metal. Nagaros, 7 tears are flowing to the river.
Oh!
One of the, this is for me, the best Nagaroth song ever written. And probably lyric-wise, one of the best ones. It's about only finding love after one has killed himself, and then is mourned and actually loved by that. I mean, the music. I love the music. It's especially the intro. It's very acoustic heavy, but soon gets heavier and heavier. And I love the music of this song. And I mean, if there is a black metal love song, that's for sure one.
Ricky.
My number 7, Faith by Journey. It's the only song on this that I've seen live. My Journey song. And I just love that song more than I could have gone with I could have gone with something. But Faithfully So is one of the songs that I remember.
Cutting out again.
Like I said, I remember going to San Antonio on the highway, putting the rocks by. It always.
Jeez, that was the longest cut off ever.
Yes.
Come on.
Maybe try restarting your Discord. Maybe that'll help.
I think I need to get a different microphone. Probably.
Or
Probably.
that. Yeah.
Probably do that for next time. But number 7, Faithfully Journey.
Alright, Artur.
My first of the two more obvious choices on my list. I mean, I couldn't make this list without Scorpion Still Loving You. I mean, it can get a bit cheesy. It is on the more obvious side, but yeah, Scorpion Still Loving You. You cannot make this, and yeah, Scorpions can be hard rock or heavy metal, however you want to call it. But I mean, you cannot make this list without Still Loving You. And you were saying that there were some songs that people would say that they grew up with this and they played it at our wedding and stuff. Arguably, Scorpion Still Loving You will be up there on the list. And despite the theme and such, it's a great song.
Yeah.
It is enjoyable. It is a great song. The melody is great. Klaus Meiner's voice is great as ever. So it is cheesy. It is on the obvious side, but it has to be done. So number 7, Still Loving You by the Scorpion.
It's on my list.
On mine as well.
So that was maybe the one song we all had.
Maybe.
I think there is room for another one.
I just hope that the one that I know Archer doesn't have it.
What are you saying?
There's one song that I know you're gonna have that you know I have. I just hope you don't have it where I have.
We'll see.
That
All
was
right, so
cryptic message.
my number 7 is another unorthodox choice. Cro-Mag's The Only One, off of Best Wishes, my favorite Cro-Mags album. And it's a bit of a strange one. It's about, basically, I guess, a story of Harley Flanagan, the bassist and vocalist, telling a story of how he fell in love with a woman who is into Hare Krishna religion, because that's his religious preference. But also, it's one of the heaviest songs on the album, too, and I love the bass intro of the song. And if I were to have a band, this would be the Cro-Mag song I would cover. Cro-Mag's, in my opinion, one of the most underrated hardcore / metal bands to ever exist. I'm so glad Harley's back and they put out an EP this year, but the only one on my list at number 7. Now on to number 6. My number 6, kind of another obvious one as far as the title. Alice in Chains, Love, Hate, Love. I mean, the song's pretty much self-explanatory about the love-hate relationship you have with your significant other. And this is one of the Alice in Chains songs I love singing along to. Plus, it has a darkness on top of it, too, which makes it even better. Then again, Alice in Chains, when are they never dark? You know? Unless you're listening to the song Sunshine off of Facelift. That was not that dark. But beside the point, Love, Hate, Love by Alice in Chains at my number 6. Artur.
The other obvious choice, and the only hair metal band that I have here on my list, and the song is very much self-explanatory. Every Rose Has Its Thorn by The Poison. I mean, yeah, I'm not the biggest Poison fan in the world, but despite some songs like Unskinny Bop or even Talk Dirty to Me, I mean, it is a well-known ballad. Every Rose Has Its Thorn. You can fall in love with anyone, but you have to be careful. And as it says, roses have thorns. And it's a great thing that Bret Michaels and the gang are treating women as roses, because normally they're not. But it's a bit of a...
That's an understatement.
Exactly. But it's a story that everyone goes through. We try to fall in love. We treat her like roses, and we know that they have thorns. So, number 6, Every Rose Has Its Thorn by
Hannah.
Now it's time for one of my obvious choices, and that is NIB by Black Sabbath. Lucifer luring you. I mean, typical Black Sabbath lyrics, but so lovely executed. Classic song. I mean, you can love Lucifer. We all know that. And I mean, I was thinking about putting King Dude's Lucifer's The Light of the World on this list. But then there is NIB, of course. So, I mean, we all can love Satan. Sabbath says it's okay. And he will treat you nicely. Lure you into his heart, whatever. It's such a lovely song. Ozzy is great on vocals. The riffs by Tommy Iommi are great. What is there not to love about this song?
I'm guessing by...
I can't hear you. Ricky.
I'm guessing Levi has it on his list.
Probably.
We'll get to it when we get to it. Ricky, you're number 6 before I fall back on my chair again.
Thankfully, I'm not committing genocide.
No, it's Hannah who's committing murder in this case.
My number 6.
I'm only spreading love.
My number 6, and Artur brought on Poison. I'm gonna risk it with Motley Crue, Without You. Great song. It's just almost the same story that happens after you missed a person to death. You wanna be together with that person, and love sucks.
Alright, and now we're into the second half. Man, we've been zipping along through this episode. We're only 30 minutes in, and we're now into the top 5. But still no update on Fireblade or Kamikaze.
Seems like this episode seems to be a quickie.
I see what you did there. Oh, God. I could use a quickie right now, but I got no one to do it with.
And now I'm ashamed.
Jeez.
You see, just a little note for you guys who may know me through my Zev Bellringer commercials I've done. I love women who have a perverted sense of humor. I thank you for that, Hannah.
You're very welcome.
Okay, number 5 time. Wow, Hannah, you just cracked that joke. How about you begin?
Now let's move to the world of power metal. I mean, we all love a few ballads, especially power metal ballads. I've
Or
got
prog
two.
metal ballads in some case.
Yeah, but I've got power metal ballads. The first one is Forever by Stratovarius. I mean, he waits for her or she waits for him forever. Still hopes that they will meet again. And then the second one is House of Sleep by Amorphous. Great power ballad. Great lyrics about lovers. Who of course find their love in the House of Sleep. Since the House of Sleep is a place for lovers and shit like that. I mean, it's all in the look. It's one of my favorite Amorphous songs. I think Tommy's voice on this song is amazing. Especially through the at the end. Perfect ballad for me. Those are probably one of the best love songs and ballads within power metal.
Ricky.
My number 5 song. I'm gonna win. 1999, 2000, and what the biggest movie of that time? Armageddon. What song I choose? Aerosmith. I don't want to miss.
I'm pulling the bird because it's not because of the song. It's not a bad song, but I'm sick of hearing. It's hearing the radios. Armageddon plays in our televisions every 2 weeks. I'm sick of that. Sick.
The best thing of it was in that movie, Blades of Glory, Will Ferrell singing it on the phone. I don't want to miss a thing, so call me back.
I mean, the reason I put it high up on the list was, strangely enough, this song was played when I went to my prom. Oddly. It's weird. I'm like, okay, it's weird, but it fit the moment, you know? And it's a great song.
Artur. Oh.
My number 5, it is an unconventional choice because I'm going to put a Portuguese band here, and the only one that might understand might be Ricky when he gets a chance to listen. This one is from what we consider one of the forefathers of Portuguese rock called Chutos and Pontapés, and it's a song entitled Negras como a Noite, Dark as the Night. It is a bit of a ballad, talking about a fisherman that departs on a trip. We still have a lot of that, and he writes to his loved one saying that everything is going to be okay, that he still loves, and that's a bit it. It's a great ballad. It's one of those that has been covered by many Portuguese bands throughout, and even by somewhat pop artists as well. And it has been played when the founding guitarist, Zé Pedro, unfortunately passed away about 2 years ago. But still, it is a great song, and it's a bit of a call-up to arguably one of the founders of the Portuguese rock scene. Chutes e Pontapés, Negras como a Noite, my number
5. Alright, and then my number 5, another self-explanatory title, This Love by Pantera. One of the best songs off Vulgar Display of Power. Phil's voice, say what you will about Phil Anselmo as a person, but his voice on this song, that perfect balance of melody and the aggression, especially whenever it gets into that heavy breakdown towards the end, his scream, whoa. I don't know which scream of his would be better, that or Cemetery Gates. I'd probably say Cemetery Gates, but the scream on This Love was pretty powerful and crazy. And of course the heavy breakdown at that dun 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 dun. Like, that's the thing with Pantera that I feel not a whole lot of people give credit. When it came to making breakdowns, they were able to do it right with good riffs, whereas a lot of modern breakdowns, metalcore and deathcore, don't write good riffs to go along with it. Take a page from Pantera, Suffocation, Broken Hope, Carcass. Take notes from those bands who were able to write good riffs on top of breakdowns. Even Creator as well. I could throw Creator into that conversation. But This Love by Pantera, especially when you watch the music video of a dude falling in love with a prostitute, is just brilliant. So, Pantera, This Love at number 5. Moving on to number 4. My number 4 is the third black or death metal song on my list. And I feel Hannah and Artur are going to maybe rave over this, maybe not. Midnight Queen by Sarcophago. I mean, my favorite Sarcophago album, Laws of Scourge, where they went full-on tech death or prog death, as opposed to the hyper-speed black metal on INRI or the blackened death thrash doom on Rotting. But Midnight Queen, I love how it starts. It's definitely more of I would consider a prog death metal song. Lyrically about a prostitute who wants to be in love someday. I mean, Midnight Queen, that tells you it's a song about a hooker, prostitute, and whatnot. Great melodic beginning with some heavy fucking riffs and brutal vocals. And even gang chants. And I like me some gang chants at times in my metal. So yeah, my number 4, Midnight Queen by Sarcophago. Also, it was I think the longest song, or second longest song off the album too, which was a plus. Artur.
Now, you all mentioned that that you have a Motorhead song on it, and they have a bit of love songs. Even God was never on your side. But how can I go against Whorehouse Blues? How can I go against that? I mean, yeah, it is a blues song. It has a bit of that love aspect to it. I mean, yeah, it talks about whores, but hey, let me love them. And there are prostitutes from Los Angeles to New York that have claimed that have slept with Lem at least twice. And Lemmy, as we all know, has effed more girls in his 70
Then you could bother to count.
Than all men combined. And man, Whorehouse Blues, it is a blues song, but come on, it's Lemmy, it's Motorhead. It has a bit of love infused in that blues, but still keeps it class. Unlike Wasp's Love Machine, but it's a bit like this. Whorehouse Blues by Motorhead.
And you know, another good Motorhead song that could have been on the list, Love Me Like a Reptile, could have been on there too. Another classic from Ace of Spades.
Or Orgasmatron.
Well, Orgasmatron's more of a political song.
Orgasmatron is more political. Is more political than it is about love. Because as it says all the time, I am the politician or I am religion, and I'll decide your fate. It's not that much of love. It means more anti-political, anti-religion. Not that much about love. Although Poison by Motorhead could be here as well.
Ricky.
My number 4 is the cheesiest song I have. Ariel's Wagon, I'm Loving You. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it has a piano and one of my good love.
That was an even longer cutoff.
Like I said, one of my guilty pleasure rock love songs. It's just a song where ballads were ballad. You know, it's a song that I get someone they're watching this video 5 years weddings.
Who the hell's going 1,000 miles an hour outside of my house, as always? Anyways, I don't know if my mic picked that up, but good God.
I did.
Oh, I hate when motorcycle assholes drive through my neighborhood like this, because I can hear it all the way out here. Alright, anyways, Hannah, you're number 4.
I think I have to go down Ricky's road and present you with the cheesiest song on my list. And it's While Your Lips Are Still Red by Nightwish. I mean,
What?
While Your Lips Are Still Red by Nightwish.
Oh.
It's so cheesy and it's cheesier and it's cheesiest. But what I like about this song is that you have Marcos. I think his name is Marcos vocals on this song and not female vocals. I forgot which singer was singing in that era. Too many singer switches in night. I mean, it's about loving while still being in love once, and that love might fade, and you should make the best out of the time you've got. It's so cheesy. The music video is even cheesier, but I love it.
Who doesn't love cheesiness every now and then? Alrighty. Now to the top 3. My number 3. Hannah spoiled it. Black Sabbath NIB.
Follow me now, and you will not regret.
I mean, early Sabbath, that first album, and this song, that classic bass line, the riff. I can actually I think I could still play that riff on bass and guitar. But nonetheless, I mean, all about Lucifer just wanting to fall in love and he'll take you with him to spend life together and all of the fun topics.
A bit of Satanism, a bit of love. What's wrong about that?
So yeah, Black Sabbath, NIB, number 3. I can't even roll my R's anymore. 3. There we go. Ricky.
My number 3 has been spoiled by Artur. Still loving you.
Scorpions.
I mean, I can describe it perfectly. So
Hannah.
From Nightwish to Dark Funeral. What a nice transition. Well, Dark Funeral surprisingly have released a love song, and it's called In My Dream. In which the guy is still haunted by her beauty forever and ever, and wants to be left alone but can't because she keeps on haunting him till the end of time. It's such a black metal-esque love song, but it's my favorite Dark Funeral song and probably the best black metal love song ever written. In my opinion.
Artur.
I'm going from Motorhead, and Hannah's gonna hate me for this, to Head Guy. Nah, just joking. Not going to Head Guy.
She's pulling a ghost. She cannot continue.
No, I can't stand Tobias Summit. I can't.
Nah, just joking. I'm not going to Head Guy. Although I'm going to Apocalyptica. I'm going to
okay.
Apocalyptica. Huh?
That's fine.
And I've put 2 because they're a part of the same set, so to say. I've put Bittersweet, the song that they did with Ville Valo and Yari from the Erasmus. Yeah, it talks about the sweet moments that a relationship has, but also the bittersweetness of the heartbreak. Spoiler for the next song. Um, but that's it. It talks about that. It's a bit of a love song, but also a bit of a heartbreaker. And the second one is Far Away. That even though it has an instrumental, it has been said by the members of Apocalyptica, which is the theme of being missing someone who is on the other side of the world, like trying to get a long distance relationship that unfortunately does not work. I know of personal experience. So I've put these two the same: bittersweet and far away from apocalyptic.
Alrighty, and now top two time. My number two. Hannah brought up Dark Funeral, saying how she thought that was the best black metal love song of all time. In my opinion, the one that started it all, Bathory, Woman of Dark Desires. I mean, one of the pinnacle black metal songs of the late 80s, especially with that organ part in the song. Like, that's so haunting. But yeah, a song all about the love obsession of Elizabeth Bathory. Enough said. Enough said. If none of you guys who are watching this have heard of Woman of Dark Desires by Bathory, go check it out now. One of the best black metal songs of all time. And off of arguably the best black metal album of all time, Under the Sign of the Black Mark. So you get a win-win on this one. So number two, Bathory, Woman of Dark Desires. Hannah.
I'm German. Scorpions have to be on this list. It has been spoiled. Still loving you. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's great. Probably being played at every German wedding. I love Klaus Meine's vocals, how the song progresses, the climax at the end. I mean, it's not necessarily about falling in love, but waiting for the love to come back, but still a great love song. Great lyrics. Everything is great about this one.
Artur.
Ricky has spoiled a little bit my number two due to his T-shirt. But I also have.
Moment of truth time.
But I also have two that I've put here on my list. They're both by him. I've put first and foremost Heartache Every Moment. I mean, as I said, just as Bittersweet talked about the moment when you leave a relationship and you want to fall in love with another one. Heartache Every Moment is a bit that, but on a more gothic part, and speaking about all the moments that you are heartaches to get back on a relationship. And Ricky probably is going to hate me next because I also have Join Me in Death.
Thank God!
Saved. What's it like in baseball? Safe. I mean, Join Me in Death has been played everywhere, in rock and metal clubs, in radios, TV shows, and such. It's a bit the overstep of Romeo and Juliet's story that, despite the death of Romeo, Juliet still follows him to death. Basically, Join Me in Death. So, my number two, him, Join Me in Death, and Heartache Every Moment. And Ricky is safe.
Alright, so now it's... did we get Ricky's? Oh, okay, Ricky, you're number two.
My number two, Love Hurts, NASCAR.
Ah, that's a classic.
I mean, Love Hurts. I've experienced it. Sucks. Can you do it life?
Alrighty, man. We're under an hour into this, and we're already at number 1. This is insanity. Like Hannah said, this was a quickie.
This just got demonetized. It got demonetized when we started to talk about whores.
And Steel
Or
Panther.
Cannibal Corpse, fucked with a knife.
And love machines.
Well, Artur, while you got your mic open, let's get your number 1 out of the way.
A bit of an unconventional choice, but it's still one of the best love songs I've ever heard. It still helps me when I'm always down. Judas Priest's Angel from the Angel of Retribution album. I mean, even that song, it literally says, "Angel, put sad wings around me now, escape me from this world of sin, so that we can rise again." And I still love that song to this day. It has helped me in troubled times. Not as much as Paradise Lost has helped me, but that's a whole different story. But Angel is such a beautiful song. Even when it gets to the end, when Rob starts Angel, Angel, take me far away, and starts the power chords and the solos, it's just a beautiful song. So, number 1 in the love song department, Judas Priest's Angel.
Alright, now Ricky, before you say it, I'm actually going to go ahead and guess. Is it When Love and Death Embraced by Him? Is that the one?
You're partially right.
I know it's him, but is it that one?
Is it Wicked? Is it Wicked Game?
Let me just say it. My number 1 is not just songs. In fact, songs. They're all by him. Songs, in my mind, fine, and all of it. One is Sorrow. Second one, on with.
You cut out bad. We could not hear a damn thing.
Oh God! Again, 3 songs. The first one, Doing Sorrow. Second song, Gone with Zen. Last but not least, probably my song. Done this list for him songs, and that is Love and trifecta of that I can, the heart, the when your heart is broken, when you find some wanna find somebody. All the 3 love, heart, try to move.
Hannah, your number 1.
I mean, last week we were joking about Rammstein were love poets, and in fact they are. I mean, I could have filled my whole top 10 purely with Rammstein songs. I mean, I roughly counted through the whole discography and found like at least 30 songs dealing with. So it was quite hard to narrow down which ones I would actually choose. I choose one, but another one came very close. The one that came close is Ohne, which of course is a lovely ballad about the lyrical I not being with his chosen one and still longing and searching for her. But I choose Wilder Wein. The music on this is so heavy, so thick, so slow. I mean, you can basically reek the love out of it. And the way Till sings with his deep baritone voice, it's simply lovely, in my opinion. And then the lyrics, I mean, they're so mysterious. It could be about a couple making love. It could be about the lyrical I chasing for his love. There are so many options to interpret this song, and in my opinion it's just it's black romantic. It's so deep, and I mean, it's not clean love, it's certainly not disturbing love, but it's something more. It's darker and deeper, and that's what I love about this song. Especially when they played it live, so theatrical, so much atmosphere in there, and then the voice of Till, amazing.
And I blame her for getting me into the live version of that song when she sent it on Facebook.
Because it's great, it's so theatrical.
It is.
Yes.
Alright, my
And-
number...
And probably the undiscovered crown jewel out of Rammstein's discography, because nobody knows about this song, and that's a shame.
Yeah. Well, my number one. Genuinely surprised nobody else had this band on their list. Number one, Face of Melinda, Opeth. I was genuinely shocked nobody had Opeth on their list, because I could have maybe filled this whole list with Opeth
love that
songs.
song. Pun intended, I love Face of Melinda.
Yeah. I mean, probably the best, if not the second best song off of Still Life, which is one of my top 3 favorite Opeth albums. That beginning with that kind of jazzy beginning, and one of only 2 songs off the album where Michael Ackerfeld's clean vocals all the way through. About a woman he's in love with named Melinda, like, in that lyric, the face of Melinda with blackened hair. Self-explanatory, and plus, not to mention, this song meant so much to Michael that eventually, when he got married and had kids, he named one of his daughters Melinda. So it goes to show you how much that song meant to him.
Some would say that the girl that's on the Still Life cover is Melinda.
Yeah, you very well could make the case for that. So, Face of Melinda, I mean, you could have put so many Opeth songs. You could have put Benighted. You could have put, even though it's not really a love song, but you could interpret it as such, Burden.
You can
could have
put
put on
also, what was that one that was passed a lot from the... Burden.
You could have also even put in... You could also even put in Porcelain Heart.
Oh,
And that's a sad love song at that. Yeah, I could have maybe done this whole list with Opeth songs because they got so many. Bid You Farewell could have been a good one to put on here too, but I went with Face from Melinda just because not only, like, it's basically a tale of two halves. The first half, very jazzy and melodic. Second half, very heavy but with no growling. Pretty much proof that Opeth is a band capable of producing heavy music without needing to have growls, and that's always been the constant criticism I see of a lot of diehard Opeth fans have of their work today, is that there's no death metal. I'm one of those diehards who's still with them through and through, and I'll make the argument that when their new album comes out, it might be the heaviest thing they've done since Watershed, and with no death metal on it. I mean, you listen to the singles, it's proof. But with Face of Melinda, in my opinion, the best love song in the history of heavy metal. And that, therefore, closes the book of a love story in heavy metal with this episode. So, he does it and his phone falls. Good God. As Deadpool would do it. Or... God. We are fucked up people, but I love it. Anyway, so that does it for this episode. As far as future episodes, I believe the next one we're doing metal anthems.
Yeah!
Then the next one after that's going to be one I'm going to have to do some digging on. Folk metal albums. And then before that is the 1 year anniversary live Q&A, which we're still trying to figure out how we're going to pull that off, because I can't use OBS on Discord.
I already have Google Hangouts if necessary.
There we go. So that might be how we do it, is through Google Hangouts. But then after that is the folk metal albums, and then what after that?
Roadrunner record.
Roadrunner albums, which that's going to be another tough one for me, because, hell, before the show started, I went through most of the Roadrunner albums that I have. But not all of them are going to be on my list. Spoiler alert. And, well, that does it for this episode. Sucks that Kamikaze didn't make it in time, or Mr. Fireblade. Maybe next episode we'll get them back. We'll see, but who knows when that episode's going to happen. Maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in 3 weeks. Depends on when everybody's available. Especially on my end, considering hopefully within the next few weeks I start my job. But whenever I start my new job, we'll have to do the shows on an earlier schedule.
In September 2, I'll be very heavy in terms of work. But I'll try to squeeze in.
Like as if you would squeeze out a shit. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, this was the shortest episode by far, a little over an hour. As Hannah called it, it was a quickie. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time. What?
Oh, good lord!
Holy fuck! Oh, oh my god! Ah! No!
Quit trying.
You had the gun too!
Oh shoot, I forgot.
You're my test, oh god.
Oh my goodness.
Holy.
Somebody
What
shot
just
X.
happened to Carson?
Somebody shot
I
Orcs.
face planted a freaking container.